fresh off his big game in the wild card Monday nighter in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 8 catches, 140-plus yards. Ladies and gentlemen, Christian Kirk here on the Rich Eisen Show. Good to see you, Christian. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
What was that night like for you, Monday night, Christian?
Special, honestly. Big-time game, wild card round. It was a big win for us to go on the road, an environment like that. Obviously, Steelers being the organization that they are. I think I forget what the stat was of, how many games they had won Monday night there in that stadium. So for just us to be able to go on the road and to be able to have a big impact on, us getting the win was, obviously a great feeling.
Just the 4th career playoff game for you and in this environment in Pittsburgh, quite something, no doubt. If you don't mind straying out of our lane and your lane for the moment, what'd you think of when you heard the next day that Mike Tomlin was stepping down and that this was the last game of his legendary Pittsburgh coaching career, Christian?
Obviously the end to an amazing career. I have the utmost respect for Coach Tomlin, and I know the rest of the league does. Got a chance to visit with him, when I was coming out for the draft, and just always admired the way that, he ran the organization, the way he treated his players, and, just the impact that he had on the game. So I guess in a sense, I'm honored to be a part of, his last game coaching there, as the Steelers head coach, and, we'll see what's next for him.
Were you in one of those vaunted meeting rooms at the Combine when you chatted with him? Were you in one of those, or was it a pro day visit or something like that? What was it, Christian?
Yeah, it was one of those, I think they call them like top 30 visits, yes, where you get to go to the organization and visit. So it was one of those post-Combine.
So let's talk about the journey of this team this year of the Houston Texans and yourself. Obviously, staying healthy has not been on occasion easy. But healthy you are, and you looked as healthy as it possibly can be in this game. Walk me through your journey of this year, you personally, before we get to your team, Christian.
Yeah, personally, I had to weather the storm. It's been difficult, difficult more than others at times. The hamstring early in the year, and just kind of trying to find my role within this offense and this team, and just showing up every day and, trusting the process and just doing what they're asking me to do to the best of my ability. And, we were winning games, and, that's why you play football, and that's why I came here. And so, whether it was 1 catch or 3 catches or no catches, I was just, out there doing my job and, trying to have an impact, in whatever way that I could. And, Monday night, the seal kind of broke for me, and I'm just, like I said, glad that, when the opportunity, presented itself, I was able to show that, I still got a lot to give. And, I'm feeling good, feeling healthy, and just ready to keep making this playoff push.
Yeah, the 144 yards, again, is more yards than you had combined all the way from when you came back from injury to that night. And, you missed as you pointed out, a few weeks early on in the season. What did click on Monday night? And that's no joke of a defense it clicked against, Christian.
Yeah, like you said, great scheme. Obviously, their front is very challenging, and even on the back end as well, they did some things that presented some problems. But I think we caught them in man coverage, a few times, especially on 3rd down, and third down's money down, and you got to be able to separate. And CJ did a good job of stepping up in the pocket and, giving us opportunities all night. Even some of the more explosive plays. To me, he did a great job maneuvering in the pocket and, really giving me an opportunity to run under some of those. So, yeah, I think it's just, we were able to click, when we needed it the most, and we got some explosives out of it.
Christian Kirk here on the Rich Eisen Show. Walk me through what makes DeMeco Ryan special in your estimation, Christian.
Yeah, special is definitely the word to describe him. I've loved every moment of just being around him, and from a leadership aspect, I think the accountability piece is the thing that jumps out to me. And as a coach, he just does such a good job of establishing the culture And, everybody's bought into it, from the janitors to the kitchen staff to the assistant I mean, everybody has the same mentality. Everybody is here. And that was the one thing that really jumped out to me when I first got here is everybody's here to help get us to our ultimate goal, and that's to win a championship. And they all take on, Coach, Ryan's mentality and his approach. So it's been awesome playing for him.
Yeah, and at 0-3, what was it like? I know right around then, your team was adrift at that point in time. You were only a couple weeks away from going through your injury. It must not have been a fun time, but what was it like for this team then, Christian?
Yeah, I think, being a part of it, and I've been a part of teams that have gone through, a slide like that, where you drop a few, especially early in the season. And, obviously it's a little bit of a different situation where you start off 0-3, but everybody knew the type of talent and the type of team that we had in the building. It was just getting us to, execute and start playing, complementary football. And it was, you look back at the games that we lost, they're all one-score games, and it was just like one or two plays here. And obviously in the NFL at this level, that'll get you beat, one or two plays. And it was just eliminating those mistakes. And, we finally were able to, get on the winning side of things and find that recipe. But I think it speaks to the leadership in the locker room. Guys didn't blink, guys didn't get down on themselves. The confidence was still there because, like I said, day in and day out, we knew the type of team that we had, and we just had to go out there on Sunday and put it all together.
And then down 19, staring a season sweep in the face at the hands of the team that, you were just playing for in Jacksonville, and then the comeback hits, and you haven't lost since then. What was it like in that moment on the sideline there, Christian Kirk?
Yeah, an incredible game, one that I definitely won't ever forget. Had been a part of some good comebacks, and that's definitely up there. And it's just, I think in that game it kind of encapsulated our season of just weathering the storm. Even when you're down and out and everybody's telling you that you have no chance, you just keep playing the next play. And that's one thing, DeMeco always talks about is just playing the next play and, extreme ownership to your job and executing at the fullest. And, who knows what's going to happen when you do that. And it's usually good things. And, just another game that you look back on and, it makes sense that, we've been able to put some games together and be where we are today.
Christian Kirk, few minutes left with the Houston Texans wide receiver here on the Rich Eisen Show. One last what is it like question for you. What is it like to go against your defense in practice?
I look back to training camp, and after the first couple of days, I was looking around like, hey, is it always like this? Are we are we going to start, scheming some things up? Because, it's kind of hard to move the ball and make some plays. Man, they're immensely talented. What you see on Sundays is what we get day in and day out. It obviously makes us better because you're going against the best every single day. And, I could go on and on and on about, each guy and what they mean to that defense and what they mean to our team. But they play as a unit. They play for one another, and, they are the identity of swarm mentality. And it speaks for itself every time they're out there, and I'm glad I'm on their team.
Again, Christian, we at NFL Network did Texans Chargers Week 17. We asked everybody on the team that we were able to speak to prior to the game. You were not one of them. The same question, I'll ask it to you as well. The player with the best hands on the team who has the best hands on the Houston Texans? Christian Kirk.
I think that I would be wrong if I didn't say myself.
Okay.
But taking myself out of it, I would say Nico. And I think his ability to catch some of those contested, catches over the middle and whatnot, use his size and speed. He definitely got sure hands.
Okay. Does it affect you or offend you that the answer almost unanimously was Derek Stingley Jr., Christian?
Oh, Forgot about Sting. Sting's got good hands.
Right?
Sting's got great hands.
Because normally people who play his position play that position because they can't catch, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, there was even conversation that he would have been the best on his college team that included Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. Christian.
Look, I don't really have a rebuttal to that.
Okay.
I've definitely seen Sting. Obviously, this year he had a one-handed pick against Jacksonville. Some of the catches he has in practice, he's a freak of nature. So, I would agree with that.
Okay. And then which is the guy on your defense that you during practice say, I'm glad I don't have to go against that guy this week? Who's that?
Probably either Will or Daniil. I don't know how you could look at. I don't know how you could look at either of those guys and say I would love to go against him on Sunday. That's just a problem that I don't want to have to handle. And like I said, I'm glad I'm on their team.
Yeah, you don't have to chip them in practice, right? We're not doing
Thank
that.
goodness.
Okay.
Thank goodness.
We're not doing that. All right. And not to turn you into my information man here, but how is Nico right now for this game?
Doing good. Obviously the protocol is the protocol.
Right.
So, he's taking it day by day, and, we've been checking on him and just wishing that, he has a speedy recovery.
And what's being discussed about the weather? I don't know if you've seen the weather. We could have a snow game on our hands in Foxborough. Christian, you seen that?
No, this is first I've heard of it.
Okay.
So, weather's the weather. We just know that when that ball's set down and the whistle's blown, we're ready to go.
Okay. All right. So there's, you got the cold weather gear. You got it working. What do you got? What do you think? If it's really cold, how do you prepare for such a thing?
This year has been the first year I've used the little hand warmer cutout in my jersey.
Okay.
That's been something nice that the Texans have provided me. So I've been enjoying that. I got some of those hand warmers in there. So as long as the hands and the feet are warm, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
You played in Arizona, you've played in Jacksonville, you know what I mean? Like these are not cold weather environments.
No, not at all. I'm not going to shy away from the fact that I haven't lived or been anywhere that is remotely cold. So I love it. But I'm able to get through. I'm able to bear it.
Okay. Last two for you. Your quarterback, CJ Stroud. He doesn't seem to show much emotion even when things are not, sticking to his hands like they were on Monday night. What's he been like this week and also in the huddle? Christian, what do you have for me on your quarterback here?
Yeah, same guy. Like you said, he doesn't waver, doesn't blink. He understands the ebbs and flows of the game, and he wants to be great. So, this week, been super locked in, had a great last 2 days of practice, and when CJ's at his best, we can accomplish anything as an offense. And, just with the way he's been preparing, his communication, that's one thing he's really great at, especially throughout the week, is just communicating with us, not only as receivers, but offensive line, what he likes, what he doesn't like. And I think that's key, from that position. And he does a great job. So, I definitely expect him to go out there on Sunday and be at his best.
Okay. And then on Sunday, you will know, Christian Kirk, if you and your teammates have the right to win a game and host an AFC championship game. We'll already know if the Bills have knocked off the Broncos. And if that happens, your game is for the right to host an AFC championship game, which would obviously be a nice twist in your journey to the Super Bowl, potentially. Mm-hmm. Do you allow yourself to sit around and think about playing in Super Bowl 60? Do you let your mind wander at all? And if so, what you think about, Christian?
I honestly don't, because it's hard to imagine something that you can't experience if you don't win the one that's in front of you. So to me, this game is the biggest game, because we got to earn the right to be able to even go play for that. So I've learned, I've played in this league long enough that if you start looking, forward and past what's right in front of you, it'll sneak up and bite you. So I'm just relishing in the opportunity to play in New England in the divisional round to keep our season alive.
Well, the kid in the backyard, Christian, that you used to be, I'm sure, is like, what gives? You dreamt of it, I'm sure, this moment, and then on top of it, the Super Bowl's in the spot where your coach started his coaching career. It would be quite a moment, I think, for all of that. That's my one last swing to make you think about it.
No, for sure. I mean, look, I won't lie that everybody wants to play in a Super Bowl. I want to play in a Super Bowl. I've always dreamt of it, and I realize that we have the opportunity that if we keep winning, we'll be able to play in one. So yeah, it'd be great. I'm sure a dream come true for all of us, but like I said, we got to go win this one first.
Well, it's a pleasure for me to sit here on your journey here, having been, around peripherally, seeing you in London a couple of years ago when you were with the Jaguars, a couple of years in a row. To see you in this position, seeing you balling out on Monday night, seeing the Texans being able to get into the AFC Championship game for the first time, I appreciate you giving me the time, and I wish you the best of luck.
Of course. Thanks, Rich. Always good to speak to you.
Right back at you. That's Christian Kirk getting set for the Texans to take on the Patriots to kick off Divisional Playoff Sunday right here on The Rich Eisen Show. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.